brand spanking new show, NASCAR Race Hub.
You're in the Hub.
The sport you love.
Oh my God! No way!
The family you know.
We're just glad that you're here.
We're going to call him like Hubby the Lobster.
Happy birthday!
The moments you'll never forget.
He joins us now live on NASCAR Race Hub.
From laughs, tears, and everything in between.
The network's most popular show. We celebrate women in NASCAR. How's that for a slide, old man?
I wanted to be spicy mustard.
Making history for 15 years.
Keep it down, keep it down.
Here's to the Hub.
We'll wrap up the Hub right after this.
Let's take one final victory lap.
Here we are, one final time. We say welcome to NASCAR Race Hub. Tonight, it's the victory lap. 90 minutes recapping some of the best moments all time. We'll laugh. Hopefully, we won't cry, Shannon, and we'll say goodbye and say thank you for what has been an unbelievable run in sports television. I'm Adam Alexander with Shannon Spake. The Daytona 500 champion, Jamie McMurray, is here. America's crew chief, Larry McReynolds, helps get us going. And the NASCAR champion, Fox Sports lead analyst in NASCAR, Kevin Harvick. This is going to be some kind of TV we make tonight, Shannon.
Wow, sitting here with you guys, I remember walking into this building in 2017. I had not hosted many things. I was so nervous when we went on to air. My son had given me a little ring, just like a little beaded ring, and I held it in my hand during the entire segment just to kind of get me through it. And since that day until this day, you have been by my side, one of my biggest supporters, and then, of course, on Saturdays and Sundays, these guys. And this guy in the field, I think, made me better every single step of the way, you know, because you were always hard on us to make sure that we were the best, brought our best questions and did the best thing. So everything kind of came into one to be
That's
here.
funny, Harvick, because that's not what she said about you while we were talking about you.
Yeah, well, I think that's one of the fun things about what I'm doing now is the fact that you get to see everybody that you used to give a hard time to on pit road, whether it's you guys sitting here or, Jamie. I didn't really get to give Regan any grief, but, it's...
And now we can give it back to you.
Yeah, and this year I've learned a lot about the studio. Obviously, I've been in and out of the studio in the past, but this year it's been for work. So I'm here every week. So I see you guys in and out of the studio, and being on the show has been a lot of fun. But that's one thing that's made my transition into what I did this year with everybody a lot easier, because I knew everybody, and that really makes things a lot more fun when you know the group that you're working with, and you can give each other grief. I mean, because I do give you guys a little bit of grief.
And as I was driving down here this morning, it finally, I started reflecting on all of the years of what's went on. I mean, I even go back to the totally NASCAR days that we were doing at the Christian Network down there, Carowinds, and then to watch it grow to this building here, to Race Hub, the studio next door, to now the virtual studio, just the growth that I've seen this and the things we've done. I'd have never believed we'd have done it, but we did it, and it was fun the whole way.
And Jamie was reluctant to do anything fun. I think, Kevin, I remember...
He looked at us like we all had two heads when he first came here.
I still look at you guys that way, yeah.
You guys think I'm serious. He's really serious.
And he went all in, and you've done some fun stuff.
I would say the singing for the Martinsville theme would probably be the low point of my TV career. But when I think about Hub, it was a little bit different, I think, for Shannon, Larry, and I, because we worked together on the weekends also. And so Hub, when I stopped driving, the part that I missed the most about driving was the team, right? You work with your team all week long trying to make your car as fast as you can. And what I quickly realized about TV is that it was all about a team also. And so, you work together on a production meeting early in the week, then you get into rehearsal, and you're just constantly trying to do something to put a better program together. And so that's the part to me that's been the most fun about all this, is just working as a team.
I think one of his early times in here, we were actually doing the wrestling theme. Mm-hmm. And he walked down the hall and looked at us like, what are y'all doing?
You were Mean Gene.
Yeah, I
right?
was, yeah.
You were
Randy.
Brother!
Spitting all over everybody.
What I remember about that is every time Adam would was it Randy what? Who
Randy Macho Man.
Every time he would impersonate him, he would spit on me. And I was like, oh my God, you got to stop talking.
Ricky Craven was Ric Flair. It looked like somebody that had a spray tan that went bad.
And Regan Smith was the best because he was all in.
Oh, he's definitely into it.
He
is all into wrestling.
Chubby Bunny was my favorite.
Chubby Bunny was good too. Yeah, and that one lives on and will live on forever on YouTube. I'm not incredibly proud of that moment. But I would say this about Larry, because we did some skits,
Yeah.
and Larry was always 100% in.
Totally.
Whether it was Mean Gene when we did the WWE bit, or you were Gene Hackman
That was
from the
fun.
movie
That was
Hoosiers,
fun.
and you memorized all your lines. And the other thing I would say, Kevin, that's been great about this show is the connection it allowed us to have with all the competitors. And Jamie talked about this, but you guys started to understand our side of it, and it really helped coverage because there was so much mutual respect from the competition side to what you would see on the media side.
Well, and you know, not only here, but on the broadcast, right? We started the drivers only, and I think as things changed, when we first started, you did everything that you needed to do in the car, and the rest took care of itself. Well, that kind of started to change directions as the economy changed and things started to change. We started the drivers only piece of it and started to go in the booth, and then that bled into coming into the studio and following up on the weekend and the shows, and Fox and everybody bought into that process of bringing the drivers and making them part of the group. Well, not only did it teach everybody more about television, but it also made everybody know each other. And when you know somebody, you're much more prone to give an interview to somebody that you know than you are to somebody that you don't know. And even when you give an interview to somebody that you don't know, it's never as good as somebody that you hang out with and have talked to and understand.
You and I haven't hosted together in a while, but I remember when we did, we would get off the set and we would look at each other and say, do you think those guys had fun over the last hour? And the answer was always yeah. Because we would walk off the set and everyone would be laughing, because we wanted you guys, you take so much time out of your lives and you're busy, to come in here and spend an hour with us, sometimes more, getting ready for the show. We wanted you guys to walk out of here going, that was fun. I want to come back.
My favorite part of Adam is that we would do the rehearsal. And when you first start doing TV, you get a little confused, like, is this rehearsal or is this a show? And he would start doing something. I'm like, well, we're clearly in rehearsal. And then I would realize, oh my gosh, we're on TV right now. They're not going to let us come back, but they did, and that's part of what I think made it so much fun.
Yeah, and rehearsal is never the same as actually. Once you rehearse,
Especially with me.
These two, they're professionals. We're Jamie and I, at least, are kind of amateurs. But every time you rehearse, you're like, oh, that felt pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it. And then it was nothing like the rehearsal.
And we would be remiss if we didn't mention some of our field trips to the Super Bowl in Houston, the Super Bowl in Miami, taking it out to LA the week during some of the West Coast swing, and of course our Smithville road trip. Who can ever forget going to Smithville, Virginia?
The protesters came across
Yeah,
our
right in
stage.
the middle of our show.
You talk about
protesters.
You talk about rehearsal. Larry was buttoned up. He knew everything that was happening. We do a segment live, and here come these protesters, and Larry's like, we didn't.
I even knew
that.
the population of Smithville, Virginia. Like, this isn't supposed to be happening.
Stick to the script. And we're going to stick to the script because we have so many people that are going to be in this studio, part of this show today, because 15 years of Race Hub, so much has happened. Let's take a look at some of them. Hi there, welcome into NASCAR Race Hub.
Welcome to NASCAR Race Hub.
Welcome into Race Hub.
And welcome into Race Hub.
For 15 years, NASCAR fans welcomed the Hub into their living rooms. The only true daily show covering racing. Race Hub was a stalwart of NASCAR content, and that content ran the gamut. We did it all. Had the biggest news stories.
More breaking news today.
Now live on set here at NASCAR Race Hub.
What a special occasion this is.
In-depth storytelling.
How did Kyle Busch affect your life?
Changed my whole life.
The amount of human loss can only be compensated by other humans.
And of course, tons of emotions.
Oh, look at this. Going to make Radioactive this week?
I'm a bit ashamed. I think I might.
The show actually debuted all the way back, October 12, 2009.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our brand spanking new show, NASCAR Race Hub.
And over that time, the biggest names in the sport found a way to our set. I'm talking about Hall of Famers being show regulars, and a cast of current drivers that came on all the time to keep the show fresh.
Do you know how good those Penske cars have been on the mile and a half this year?
I've been driving them. They're pretty good.
2,584 episodes, 4 unique sets. There were 7 different hosts on this show.
2 women are hosting the show.
That's right. Actually, technically, 3 girls are up here.
Technically,
We got
3
a little
girls.
one on board as well.
Hundreds of drivers came in to serve as analysts.
This is a good group right here.
You know, the checkered flag might be waving on the Hub, but the memories, they will live on forever.
Great look back
back there at Race Hub over the years. Welcome to our victory lap once again. Caitlin Vincey alongside Josh Sims, Regan Smith, David Reagan, and Clint Boyer here to look back on our time on Race Hub. It's been a fun journey, right, Clint? You remember your first time on this show?
Well, that's the neat thing about Race Hub. You know, it always gave you the opportunity, whether you were driving or being a part of the broadcast team at Fox Sports. This was the hub of our race week, right? In any given week. And it was always so much fun to come on and talk about, you know, the previous week and what's to look ahead at. And this was the source, you know, and then honestly, throughout our racing career, Regan, David, we all watch this every single night to try to figure out, all right, hey, I got to get my bearings. Where are we going next, by the way? And you guys, you know, always delivered that message. But for me, back to Bernsey, back to, you know, all of the greats that started this show. I mean, that's the reason, right? You've got to have a good base to get things going, and all of them. Jimmy Spencer out in the hallway, just saw him. There's just classics. Jeff Hammond, Adam Alexander, all those guys did such a great job of building this, what it is today.
And you talk so much about the guests, the drivers, the analysts we get on the show. And for me and Caitlin, I think the most difficult thing was we get shows like with you two, because Regan, we're trying to figure out who we're tossing to, and just one of you just say something. I don't know.
To this day, and you'll probably agree with me, David, we get so confused. Everybody comes up to me and they say, "Hey, David, can I get your autograph?" Well, yeah, you can get it, but you want the other David, not me. You want the Regan part of it there, but nonetheless, it's always something that gets confused.
Yeah. I've had a lot of fun coming in here and spending time with other drivers. You know, we're so competitive on race weekends. We didn't really spend a lot of time together. You're so focused on what you're doing for your team, for your group. It allowed us an opportunity to come in here, like Clint said, kind of see what happened on the rest of the weekend and the other series, and also meet all the great men and women that were behind making this show happen, because we have a lot of passion for the sport of NASCAR, but all these men and women here inside this studio, they have just as much passion about getting all this information out to the race fans, and it was cool to kind of see both sides of that.
It also gave us a new perspective. It dressed us all up, if you will say. It gave us an opportunity to look at fellow racers and be like, what do you got going on with your sock game over here, Regan? Like, what is that?
You like the Beatles?
Yeah, the Beatles.
I don't know if you know much about the Beatles.
I guess they didn't offer that in my category.
Some of us actually bring our own socks in.
So it got us out of our norm, if you will. And that's been a lot of fun to watch.
Getting down to the real dirt. Right?
You know, one of my favorite parts, coming in.
Didn't know he was a Beatles fan. Prime example.
Now you know.
Not necessarily a Beatles fan. The wife might have bought those. I'm not really sure.
The socks that were on top of the door this morning.
Exactly what it was. Coming in here, and you guys mentioned other drivers, right? And having to work with other drivers and see things from a different perspective. The craziest part for me was always, and a lot of us did it before we were, maybe with Fox and not driving, was the first time you said something another driver didn't like, and then you had to see them in the garage, or you had to face them at some point or another. I always got a kick out of that, because early on, the thought process, well, I just got to say something, I got to get it on air, and you didn't always think about what you said, and it was something that was going to anger somebody, and then you got to face that guy again. That was interesting when you're driving.
That was away from the track. I thought that was unofficial. As these guys facing wanting to beat you up at the racetrack. Like, come on, I didn't mean that. That wasn't at the race weekend.
But I think whoever had those ideas to have, all right, let's have the men and women who are part of putting on the show on the race weekends, let's have them in studio during the race weeks, and you get that information firsthand. It wasn't, well, we heard this, we heard that. That these competition directors and crew chiefs and even the drivers coming in, they can say what they felt. I can remember being in here on a show with Joey Logano, and he just maybe it was a Las Vegas fight with he and Kyle Busch and something, and he happened to be on the show that Monday or Tuesday. And then he's like, can we not talk about that? And they said, we're going to talk about it. That's
maybe
what
you should have canceled.
So it was so much fun, unless you were in that position, but to get that information firsthand, and then just to have all the fans that they were always so jacked up about, I love Radioactive, or I love this show, I love what you guys do, and I thought it was just a great spot for the fans to go to and get their information.
A lot of great segments, a lot of great analysts and guests that came in over the years. Is there a show that stands out to you, Regan? Because you've been on the show for quite a while now.
I've got two that really stand out. One of them was, it went back to when WWE was coming to Fox, and
of course,
somehow I ended up in an Ultimate Warrior costume running around this studio and running around this place. And those pictures will never die. I'm going to have to explain that to my kids at some point.
But Regan deep down loved it.
Oh, every second of it. I mean, who didn't love the Ultimate Warrior as a kid? He was the best.
Yes.
And there was one show that early on when I was filling in for Eric Almirola, and I can't remember the exact year, but filling in for him, and Adam basically on air had told me, hey, you're not going to be in the car this weekend. Yes, I knew it ahead of time, but didn't play that off with Adam, and I just gave him a blank stare. I looked at Adam, I was like, what? I'm not going to be in the car? And literally, he thought it was real. We got off air, and he's like, I had no clue that you didn't know. And I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with you? Why would you tell me that live on air? So those two I had a lot of fun with. But there's so many, and you know, as David said earlier, so many people that have poured their heart and soul into this show, to making this the best, not only racing show on TV, but in my opinion, the best show on TV. And man, it was fun. And it shows up. When you have fun doing something, it shows up.
It certainly does. It's been a great ride, I think, for all of us. We have plenty more coming on this special 90-minute edition of Race Hub. And you referenced it, guys. Radioactive, always a fan and viewer favorite. We've got a special Radioactive Scanner Secrets coming up after.
Can't wait for that. Plus, we're going to continue to look back at some throwback moments from Race Hub over the years. And as we head to break, here's some drivers that weighed in on Race Hub.
Some of my favorite memories was with Bernsey, you know, and when he was there and a part of the sport with us. Lost him obviously a handful of years ago, but he was always just fun and natural conversations, just fun to be around. Everything's evolving, everything's changing, so just best of luck to future endeavors of that whole crew and what's next.
The Race Hub's been an icon, staple in the NASCAR world for us, and you know, getting to watch it, getting to be on the show, and you know, it's been very entertaining over the years, so sad to see it go.
This is not a show about a pageant princess and a cowboy. You are in the hub.
Trevor Johnny. Jeff's got a big mouth. Leave me alone, Chad, you twerp.
I'm open.
We're
I'm
gonna
open.
do it? Oh,
What do you got?
What about that?
6,200 people found him on the email.
He's not going to return your email.
You're saying you're bowing to the crowd, but at the same time, you're saying, hey, you're booing me, but I just won the race.
I know you missed me. And you laughed.
Oh, there we go. Impromptu.
Can you help me out?
Hold on. Come on, man. Come on, big guy. So many wonderful memories as we celebrate 15 years of NASCAR Race Hub. Welcome back to Victory Lap. And this segment, I'm going all the way back to the speed days, right?
Yes.
We should have.
Yes, the glory days.
We should have worn those speed shirts, you know, that didn't fit quite right. Kenny Wallace is here. Kyle Petty. Hermie Sadler is back. And Jeff Hollywood Hammond.
Yes.
Are you trying to say we're old?
We are old. But hey, I will say the irony in this is everyone today has said, you know, Jeff, he hasn't aged at all.
Look at his face.
Look at that. Look at that. You know what? Y'all need to go to the eye doctor. I'll tell you that right now. You're already lying.
You always look good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kenny.
I appreciate that. I'm just excited to be here with all you guys. I really
Kenny, take me back. What do you remember about the Hub days when you were coming into the studio?
I remember learning how to do TV. I remember getting my butt chewed out a couple times. I remember, hey, this is a real serious situation. Think about what you say. And then I also remember, have fun.
Yeah.
I learned so much doing TV.
Yeah. I'm going to say the same thing. I think we all learned to do what we do, good, bad, or indifferent, here with Race Hub, with Speed, with FS1. And it was always fun. That was the one thing, man. When it was I used to tell Craddock and those guys, I'm going to be here as long as it's fun, man. As long as we're having fun. And the group always had fun. And on the reverse side of that coin, it was always informative. It was educational, but at the same time, they allowed us to just be the people we are. If they hadn't allowed us to be who we are, we wouldn't have the Kenny Wallace we have today. Okay? They created that monster right there.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. And I got to say this real quick. I'm going to be as quick as I can. They said at one point, you know, Bobby Labonte is a dear friend of mine. And they said, how come Tony Stewart is running better than Bobby Labonte? And I said, well, he's got better engineers. I got off the set and Bobby Labonte called me up chewing my butt out. I'm like, I told the truth, you know? So those things happen in TV because we're all racers. We race and a great crew chief.
You would say those things in the studio or on the set, and then Hermie would have to fight those fights in the garage because you spent a lot of time, not just on set and in studio, but you were in the garage for a lot of shows, especially those weekend editions. Hermie.
Yeah, I learned so much. And y'all may not have noticed, but with my accent,
I never dreamed I'd ever do TV. But
You never hear it.
yeah. So, but I mean, just wonderful memories. A lot of walking into this building today and seeing not only this crowd, but everybody here. Just really heartwarming. I miss everybody here. You know, and I remember Race Hub. Not only this show gave so many platforms. We debuted drivers, sponsors here. We talked about great racing here. But my fondest memories. Several years there, you know, back in the day, Artie Kempner, our friend, had the Drive for Autism golf tournament up in Delaware, and I always had the honor of doing the two-ways with our buddy Steve Burns. Right. Because I have a special needs daughter, and that was always special to me. And we always did the Hub a live two-way from those tournaments. And so many special memories, so many special friends, and I wouldn't trade it for anything, Jeff.
Oh, you're exactly right. I mean, the memories, and you know, you talk about, you know, what we've learned and how we've evolved. I think the thing is, I've talked to several people about this, that why is this happening? But it's like a lot of things, you know, it's evolution. Yeah. But the best thing about it is a lot like Walt Disney World on Sunday night. Yeah. That's what people did on Monday through Friday. What did they do? They wanted to tune in Race Hub because they knew they were going to get educated about what was getting ready, what had happened the week before, and what was going to happen the week coming up, and everything in between. And I think that's the coolest thing about it is we were a destination. Yeah, for us for every night for dinner. Turn it on and watch Race Hub.
Yeah, Adam, I've got to say this. I saw Kevin Harvick here, and I said, Harvick, you're incredible. You're really good. It seems like you really like this TV stuff. And when I look at each one of my racing friends, I've raced with them, and Jeff has been my crew chief. I'll say this like Kyle would. We're a bunch of old redneck racers. Yeah. And you all cleaned us up and made us learn how to do TV. And I think that's incredible where Fox took real athletes and said, you're going to do TV. That, to me, was groundbreaking.
That's what's made us different. There's no question when you look at the history of our coverage on Fox. And today, you guys referenced it, but today really has been like a reunion for all of us to come back together. Some couldn't make it, among them, Chris Devoda. She and I did the very first NASCAR Race Hub together. She sent us this message.
So sorry I couldn't be there, but I really struggled with what to wear. Totally NASCAR? No, but Steve Burns would be proud. Hot Pass? Nope. Speed Report? Getting closer. I used to make AA do the MotoGP highlights, so he'd have to handle the European names. But today is all about Race Hub, and I was honored to co-host that very first episode with Adam 15 years ago. We played pinball with the king. Not a bad day at the office. The friendships made priceless. And the years spent sharing stories with all of you at home, well, we have been blessed. Now, whatever you do, don't ask Jamie Mack about that time he let me drive his car into the mechanics bay for an oil change. That was over 20 years ago. No way he remembers that, right? Well, congratulations, Race Hub. To all of the hosts, reporters, producers, crew, I join the fans when I say, we will miss you.
And we miss Krista, one of the most talented broadcasters that we've all ever had an opportunity to work with.
The take your breath moment for me today, because I've turned into a fan again, was when we took the group picture and all of the behind the scenes people, was it a couple of hundred?
Yeah.
That work behind the scenes to make this show what it is and to take it to the viewers at home blew my mind. And I think that's one thing that the people at home do not understand is what a team this really is, Kyle.
They don't. We're in front of the camera, but it takes hundreds of people behind. But I have to say this about Krista. She mentioned her wardrobe, what to wear. The funniest thing was right before we would go on air, every time I would look over at her and say, "Are you wearing that today?" and it was just that little bit of twist, man. And we had so much fun doing that.
You know, you said, though, Kyle, you're going to leave when it's no longer fun. Yeah. And there is no question. We have had so much fun. And occasionally, that great production staff that we talk about, they back us in a corner and get us to do something maybe we're not comfortable with. We saw it off the top, Chubby Bunny, Jeff. you and I get a tweet every Easter when this happened. I mean, this was an unbelievable moment. And we just kept stuffing them in. And I still swear to this day, you were cheating. There's no way you could put that many in your mouth at a time.
If you'd have stopped laughing, you could have got
more. Look at this.
Look at that.
Adam, newsflash, we all know Jeff's a big mouth.
I thought I was a big mouth till then.
You just don't understand. He was stuffing them here, but they were all going there, baby. They were all going there.
Hollywood Hammond, baby.
I know that, Kenny, you were often on Race Hub and did a lot of the weekend stuff. But there was a time when we had you go out and do shop tours and see how many interviews you could get in an hour. I don't know if you remember this.
During the Coke 600
we got video. Here it is. Turn him loose, let it rip. 8 years ago.
I talk too much, so they started putting me on a timer back in the day. How long can Kenny? I remember that exact moment right there. That was a lot of fun though. That was real TV.
Yeah,
that wasn't produced, right. and so you're innovating already. I know we're having fun, but think about that. That moment right there was real TV. I remember that. That was during what we called Speed Weeks, Jeff.
Oh yeah.
Here, and they're like, "Hey, we need to do some stuff." It was fun.
Yeah. We used to do cover things during when they had. Practice time down in Daytona, testing time. And I remember one time we were down there and it was so cold. And they had heaters up there on the stage. And Larry Mack and myself and our dear friend Steve Burns, he was down there. We're all wrapped up. I mean, it was so cold. And I wish we had a run of a tape of that deal right there because, I mean, it was hard to do TV.
Speaking about that, looking back at the times, we prepare more than we're on air, right? So
we do?
Okay.
Wow, that's
okay,
I missed that one. I missed that one.
Just like that, my brain goes like this. I'm all serious. They're saying, Kenny, where's your notes? You got to add to the show. I'm like, okay. And I'm trying so hard. I run an Xfinity race on a Saturday night in Kentucky, and I fly all the way to Pocono, and I do the show, and Kyle looks at me square in the face. He goes, you're way better when you don't study.
Well, hey. We're glad that you all came back for this. It's been a wonderful run. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you for being here today. And we look forward to our next get-together, okay?
Thank you, man.
Yeah, and you guys have referenced Steve Burns and what an important part of this show he was way back at the very beginning. Now some memories with Steve. Here's his son, Bryson Burns.
Thanks, Adam. My dad, who was loved and missed by so many, had a special place in his heart for all you guys. He was one of the original hosts of Race Hub and was always willing to go the extra mile to make the show uniquely special. It was one of his proudest accomplishments during his 30-plus years of covering NASCAR. He used to tell me all the time, when you grow up, do something you love and you will never work a day in your life. That is how he felt about working on this show. As long as I can remember, he always had colorful and entertaining stories to tell at dinner when he'd get home from the studio and the racetrack. Listening to these stories was something I looked forward to each day during my childhood, and they now serve as cherished memories. I know he's looking down and so very proud of how long and far this show has come. My dad loved his family, NASCAR, and for sure Race Hub. Here's a look back at some of the best moments over the years with my dad, Steve Burns.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to NASCAR Race Hub. I'm Steve Burns.
Could you call yourself a tool in the toolbox?
Yeah, I don't think I'm the only one that's called me that.
Here, there, little Jimmy.
There's nowhere in this world that I would rather be than here with you.
How did we fucked up here?
And you know that's true.
Did he say he'll pass him on the high side? Not on the high side. He's the one who drives like a little. I'm gonna bust his ass. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Estrada. Whoa. Highly controversial.
Behave, baby.
And you can't eat that. You gotta be in there. That's in there.
Have any drivers told you they plan on using your songs Tuesday this weekend in Bristol?
Peanut butter. Suntan before I came over.
I've learned that so far you can call your boss an idiot and get away with it. Earmuffs off. Have an awesome night, everybody.
There is absolutely no way we could have done this show without hearing from Steve Burns. And look who's here to talk all about it. A.J. Allmendinger, a longtime piece in NASCAR Race Hub history. Jimmy Spencer was on the show for many years. And Danielle Trotta and I co-hosted right here in this studio. Welcome to each of you. And let's start right there and talk about Steve Burns and everything he meant to this show. I would say, Danielle, he was the one that really laid the foundation when he took over as a full-time host.
Yeah, there's no question, Adam. It's good to be back in the studio with you guys. It's bringing back so many memories and thousands of shows with Burnsy here. He was really the heart of the hub, and then we were all just kind of an extension of that and really followed his lead. And I think he was so endearing to the fans because you could feel his love and passion for the sport, and he equally loved the fans just as much, and the why to the story, the heart of all the stories he wanted to share on the show. And then you see all the fun moments that we couldn't plan for, especially this guy, Jimmy Spencer. We never knew what was going to come out of his mouth.
I'll tell you, Daniel, you're so right about Steve, though. The memories. When I first started in the thing, I would go to him and, hey, Steve, how do you do this? And he always would help anybody. And think the world of carrying his son, to see his son there, that's awesome. And I miss him a real lot. He was a special individual.
Just watching those highlights, like it's combo of just pure happiness of seeing Steve again and reliving all those memories, and just, obviously sadness that he's not here to share this. To me, he was one of the guys, especially as I first came into NASCAR, the open wheel guy, the guy that like everybody looked at, wine and cheese. Although I never flew on private, I never flew on private jets till I got here, so I don't know what that meant. But he was one of the nicest people that I knew I could go talk to, and more importantly, ask questions of just like, what do I do here? Not only at the racetrack, but on TV as well.
You mentioned Jimmy, his son Bryson, and he did such a great job leading into those clips. It's hard for me to believe that little Bryson is now a college graduate. Congratulations to him. He just graduated at Elon. The two of you had so many unbelievable moments in the history of this show, and the number one thing that comes to mind, Crash Cow.
I knew it.
Relive some of that with us, huh?
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Race Hub creativity at its finest. There was an old minivan in the back parking lot no one was using, and our PA went to Party City, bought like $200 of boas and streamers, and we tricked out this van with a couple GoPros, and away we go. It was this little idea that turned into this very popular segment, and then we just started traveling to all the racetracks in the Southeast. Fans got such a kick out of it, and we had a ball.
I remember some of the times that we could never show it on the air, but Martinsville, the guy sunning himself, drunk as Scooter Brown. I remember Darlington, the guy accused us of hitting his camper. The events that we did, but the people that we met, and the memories that I have, they were so genuine. They were NASCAR fans, and they watched our show. Are we going to be on the air? And if you make the cutting room floor, you'll be on the air. But the memories are special.
Well, then as it got more popular, at first, like when they would open the minivan door, they had no idea that this guy was inside, and so the shock and awe. But then as that segment became more popular, like people were chasing the van through the infield of racetracks, like let me be on Crash Cab. Then drivers started coming on it.
It was Bristol. Remember, we had Austin Dillon come on, and the guy looked just like him. I says, Austin, give him your hat, and we'll tell him that he's Austin Dillon. So Austin played along, and the guys are going, I don't think that's Austin. It was fun.
AJ, I feel like we owe you an apology because we asked you to do so many things, and you were one of our original Cup regulars that came on the show, and I'll never forget, we were changing times for the Hub, and we asked you to go out on W.T. Harris Boulevard with the sign and promote. And you did it.
Yeah, I mean,
how much did they pay you? $10 an hour?
I didn't make any money from this, but you know what? You got to do what you got to do. You got to, be man of the people. Get the time change in there. We wanted people watching Race Hub. And I had to perform.
Good sport.
I tried to stand on my head at one point, but that wasn't very good.
We all contractually had an obligation to be here. Why this guy kept showing up week after week, I have no idea.
So
he's a good guy.
there was nothing more that I look forward to than having a crappy race on Sunday and then coming to Race Hub on Monday and just having to listen to DT over here just rip me during the whole show. Especially if Danica beat me. That was even worse because that was DT's girl. So yeah, between just a bad race on Sunday and then making it even worse on Monday, I had a lot of drives home that I was crying.
You know how many times I was uncomfortable out here? I'm like, Danielle took us down the hole, and now I got to figure out how do we get out of that hole that Danielle dug with AJ. It'll never come back, but you always did.
Crying towel. You needed it a few times.
I mean, it was, watching Jimmy before I ever came on the show in the crying towel. I was so happy it was basically just directed at Kurt Busch mostly instead of me.
And Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, but you got to remember though that I got a black eye pie. I got my
pie in the face.
Pie, Keselowski.
Yeah, I know.
And that pie was terrible. It was like a pumpernickel. It wasn't even a good pie. I mean, come on, Brad. Give me an apple or a cherry or a blue. Oh, look, he's happy too. See the stuff that I had to put up with, AJ?
I know. And you did nothing
You
ever to
deserved
deserve
that.
that.
You wore Brad out.
I always spoke the truth.
You deserved it.
Danielle, come on.
You were roasted Brad Keselowski for years. But like
I made him a better driver.
Didn't you wreck Kurt at Indy?
No, I think something broke on his car.
Yeah, no, for sure, yeah.
But I look back at that now, and at the time, it was just a fun bit that you and your producer Sean Owens came up with, and it became so popular. But I look back at him, and I think that was kind of groundbreaking NASCAR television. I mean, at the time, now you have podcasts and YouTube and clickbait. No one was doing what Jimmy Spencer was doing at that time. And you were a driver, so people respected it, but you were frying guys on a regular basis, and the bat phone would ring. Drivers hated what Jimmy was doing, and you just kept on digging. It was really good TV.
I remember we caught Burns. He had to cut the cut on the floor. He rolled out of his chair when I was busting somebody's butt. And I'm not going to bring it. And he couldn't stand it. And he said, Spencer, that was absolutely incredible.
Well, so many good moments.
Where are the Emmys?
And lots of great laughs. I love the laughs from Steve Burns, and most of that was created by you, Jimmy. We'll see all of you again later in the show. It's a special NASCAR Race Hub as we say goodbye. 90 minutes of television goodness. A look back coming up. It's some of the greats that have been on this show. A couple of legends right there. And we'll do our Radio Sweetheart Revival as we relive some of the best in Radioactive. And a special thanks to the fans who have been there every step of the way.
Hey, shout out to Race Hub. We're going to miss y'all. Y'all been awesome. Hopefully y'all come back in the near future. But everything else, just best of luck.
Thank you for all the years. I don't miss you. I miss racing home from work to watch you guys every day. Appreciate it. All your guests, Regan, and everybody that's on the show.
Thanks for the memories, Race Hub. We'll miss you.
A lot of memories watching that show. Got to do it a couple weeks ago, which was really cool. But yeah, shout out to everybody that was on it.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to all the Hub watchers of the last 15 years, all the talent that hosted the Hub. Thank you for all that you did for our sport, and Fox for putting on this great show for the last 15 years.
Thank you for the memories. We're gonna miss you, but I'm happy I never made the Radio Sweetheart.
My goodness, so good. Welcome back to NASCAR Race Hub, the Victory Lap, as we celebrate 15 years of this incredible show that has provided so much for me personally and, of course, for the fans. One of the staples of Hub happened every single Tuesday, a little segment that we like to call Radioactive. We get to listen into the conversations between drivers, crew chiefs, and spotters, and it would always get interesting.
Put that in the list of things you don't see every day.
Retire. What an idiot. I don't give a I'll even go home. No, I seen it. It's just a show back there. That would be kidding me. Better wreck me for the win. Son of ridiculous, dude.
Kurt, Austin, and Clint here with me. And if you were wondering why we chose these gentlemen to be on this segment.
What are we doing up here? I'm wondering
I was wondering why I was selected, and now I'm understanding. What the hell?
Kurt sits down. He goes, how did I get part of this conversation? And then we start to see the Radioactive. He's like, oh, all right.
Now I get it.
But listen, Radioactive, I think, was so cool. I mean, obviously, we got to hear some of the meltdowns from all of you gentlemen, but we really got to pull back the curtain on what you guys experience inside those race cars. When you hear and watch Radioactive, how authentic do you guys think it is?
I'm like, who is this guy? Like, why is he talking that vulgar? I don't remember saying half of the things, right? And then I always try to put a little bit of humor into it, make sure that there wasn't too much of a Monday morning meltdown in the meetings. But yeah, I struggled with it quite often.
What do you think, Austin? Was it pretty authentic?
Very authentic. I think my favorite part about it was showing the new fans when they'd ask, like, you guys, you can actually hear what you're telling your crew chiefs and your spotters. Oh, yeah. YouTube Kurt Busch is some of the best comedy you'll ever get. I still do it to this day.
I know when you have kids, sometimes it changes the how often you push that button inside the race car, maybe some of the things. But Clint, you were good for a couple of outbursts during races from time to time.
Here's the thing, Shannon, and you just said it, the button. The button is a pop-off valve. I mean, that's what it is. When the pressure gets built up so high, you have to blow it off. And that button right there, oh my gosh, it fixes everything. It actually creates a hell of a lot of noise behind it. Once you get out of that car, you take your helmet off, all your guys are going, are you good?
Yeah,
you know what you
like
said? You're like, what? What's wrong, man? That was 30 laps ago. You know, we're race car drivers. That's the reason we had to wear a helmet to begin with to make a living. But this was my favorite segment of this show. It was every week. We all, as race car drivers, love to watch this segment because it's fun to watch people get mad. It is not fun to be the one that's getting mad.
Austin,
but my gosh, it is so fun.
It is. And I was able to watch it with you yesterday on the show. And it's so cool for me when I would be able to sit next to you guys and watch this segment, because I feel like you then saw the race that you were in just a couple of days ago with like a different set of eyes and maybe heard some things that you didn't necessarily know happened.
Yeah, I feel like we're all trying to think what the other driver's thinking about when they're making moves or out there. And then you get to hear what they were thinking, and it's usually the opposite, or wow, okay, he was really pissed off at a move that he made or I made. But you really did get to look inside the helmet.
Would you like tune in just to see if you made Radioactive?
So that's the first part of my career. Yes, I'd be like, man, maybe I survived this week. Oh no, there it is. And then the latter part, I was just like, you know what? This is stupid. Why am I pressing the button? So moral of the story is, I was a slow learner.
It took you a while to catch up.
You didn't have to watch. You knew. That was the show that you did not want to watch. This is you're like, pull the hat down low.
No, it's
maybe take the family out for dinner. You don't want to see this kid.
It's like make sure that we have Kurt's radio keyed. Clint, you know, when you're up in the broadcast booth right now, and I know as a broadcaster, the access that we have in this sport is unlike any other sport. And this is an example. You don't get to hear what, you know, Tom Brady is saying to his head coach in the middle of a game. You don't get to hear what baseball players are saying to their managers. This is what makes this sport so interesting.
Well, it's also what, you know, was my favorite segment on Race Hub. You know, when you're doing a broadcast on Sunday, you can't collect, you know, all these drivers' radio conversation just, you know, that fast. Hey, what did he say right there? I know he's going to be mad. He got wrecked. You know, get to Austin Dillon this last weekend. He's going to be mad. You know, it has to happen on Monday or Tuesday before you can get it all edited and put together for a good piece. But we have it. There's still these drivers. Just because Kurt Busch is not in that race car anymore. Ryan Blaney, last year's champion. Martin Truex, my gosh. He's another good one.
There, though.
Yeah, there is.
Kyle
Tony
has
Stewart.
calmed way down.
Kyle's calmed down until the last month and a half. But Tony was fantastic. Kurt's were of epic level. You know,
you're my dad back when he was spotting for you. Some of that stuff was like my favorite thing to watch.
Even Pop will get involved in those. You mentioned, he will.
Anytime the owner gets involved.
You mentioned Ryan Blaney, and he was one of our favorites because he did make Radioactive a lot. He was not able to be here today, but he did send us this message.
Well, Race Hub, it's sorry to see this coming to an end. You know, it was fantastic. It's been fun to work with you guys. Really sorry I can't be there. I appreciate the couple trophies for Radio Sweetheart, even though I don't know how to feel about those trophies. I do appreciate it. So best of luck in the future, and yeah, here's to a great time.
So that's what surprises me. You know, every now and then, we all knew where he was going to, you know, go on the radio. But Ryan Blaney, as a champion, so quiet, you know, controlled under an interview. But you get that pop-off that button, boy. He knew where that button was.
He was a sneaky mess. We had fun with Radioactive as we let you, the fans, from home vote on the best of the best. Who had the biggest potty mouth, the biggest meltdown? It was coveted, and as you heard Ryan Blaney just mention, Radio Sweetheart did hand out some trophies.
Here we go with Radio Sweetheart.
Believable.
That's the one we don't want to win.
He's gonna get on my ass again. I'm going to wreck him.
Those are three quality candidates.
Yeah. What a disaster. Holy
a lot of beats on that.
I am not gonna miss race with some of these idiots.
I'm just really proud that you haven't been on this list.
You gotta pay attention, man.
We love our Radio Sweetheart. I don't think Jimmy made it very often. Radio Sweetheart was talked about so much. There was a time when a 15-time most popular driver and, of course, Hall of Famer Dale Jr. even weighed in right after a race. Take a listen to this.
I think that I've been a bit of a jerk this year on the radio, more so than normal.
You're a bully.
I'm a bully. I'll probably be Radio Sweetheart this week. I don't know. There's probably a couple of good guys that were a little unruly on the radio today. Did anybody else act like a jerk on the radio?
Ryan, you didn't get mad?
Sakai Bush threw a tantrum in the car about the tire, so he might win the Radio Sweetheart. Y'all can vote for him. Try not to vote for me. I don't need to win that too many times.
That is so funny. Which one of you three do you think won the most?
I don't know.
I would say
it's got to be him. The segment, honestly, in my mind started when Jimmy Spencer was hosting it, right? And it was that crying towel, this or that, and he was really trying to get me kicked out of my rides. So that's where some of the backbone came from.
You still have a beef with him.
How'd that go today with the show? It was all good. We all peaceful. We're no Radio Sweethearts happening. No Radio Sweetheart happening in the back of the.
I was just still like, how did I get invited to an extra segment? Now I understand.
Yeah, and we've changed it up a little bit. We let go of the Radio Sweetheart, but we're able to still kind of listen in and hear what people are saying. I think that's one of the things I'm going to miss the most is just the access that we get on that Radioactive. Because I know you have fans that come up to you all the time and say, man, that Radioactive is my favorite part of Race Hub.
Well, that's the difficult thing. It is a family here. We've covered all that. Did such a good job covering all the stories, ins and outs of NASCAR. NASCAR needs this. This is a void. We have to figure out what goes, how do we move forward with NASCAR without a Race Hub on a nightly fashion? Race Hub, the Radioactive, Radio Sweetheart, the trophies, all the fun that we get to poke at one another on the light side of things. This is a huge void for our sport in NASCAR.
Yeah, you guys are fierce competitors and emotional and in the moment, but then we have some fun with it, and the fans are able to share that. We have more to come. We have more folks that are going to join us here on the set, here on the Hub, as we have our final Victory Lap Race Hub hour and a half special. Plus, we are going to continue to look ahead, or look back, I should say, on some of the great moments that we have covered over the years. Here's some shout-outs from other drivers.
Thanks to everyone at Race Hub for an awesome run, bringing everything to the race fans.
I at least watch 3 days a week, so it's going to be weird not having it on anymore, with just all the stuff that they always have going on there. Obviously Radioactive is a huge hit now, so every Tuesday I always try to get on there and watch, and just going to miss it. It was a great thing for our sport.
Race Hub's always been fun to watch. It's one of my dad's favorite shows, so I know he's sad to see it go, but thanks for all the support over the years.
Wild to think that Race Hub is ending. I remember that years ago I was asking people just to be on it, and now it's pretty wild. I don't know what my Mimi and Papa are going to do in the evenings now. I mean, they watch y'all every single day.
I wish all the best wishes to everybody who put hours and hours of work then and now into the show, and wish them the best moving forward, and congratulations on such a it will be remembered for a very, very long time, and it was a staple for the sport.
Welcome back to Race Hub, the Victory Lap, as we continue to reminisce on all the great days we've had here on Race Hub. We got Bobby Labonte, Daniel Suarez, Eric Almirola, and Michael Waltrip joining us now, and we talk about the memories. And Daniel, one that stands out to me is after you got that first victory, we got a chance to celebrate here in studio. I'd imagine that was a pretty cool day for you.
That was definitely I would say the most special day that I have had here in the Race Hub studio, especially because I wasn't expecting it. Already, we won the race. It was very, very cool. I got to celebrate in Mexico, and then I came here, and everyone was wearing my shirt, and they had a taco piñata. I mean, it was like a party. It was an amazing time, and then we had money inside the piñata, so it was unbelievable. And those memories, man, they will be with us forever, and for that I'm very, very thankful to everyone here at Fox for all these opportunities.
We talk about special moments. I think for you, Bobby, and not to put words in your mouth, but when you find out you're one of NASCAR's 75 greatest drivers, and you find out by surprise from Terry.
Yeah. Obviously, that was a big surprise, and that's what was so fun about coming to the studio is that you never knew somebody might be playing a joke on you.
Yeah.
And so when all that was kind of, when all that was kind of happening right before, Terry came out, everybody was shuffling around. I'm like, this is kind of weird. What are y'all doing? And so as Terry came out and presented that to me, and with me on that day, and every day here special, and that day very special, and just like everybody has said before, I mean, the opportunity to be here with so many great people has been so awesome and been a lot of fun. And I don't know what I'm going to do watching at 6 o'clock at night now either. Not on the show. I'm always watching it. It's a great place, and love everybody here.
And Eric, I think you as one of the newer members to the Race Hub fam, but I mean, I'd imagine you got some pretty cool memories of being here on set and joining the team.
Yeah, it's just really a lot of fun. I think there's an old saying that says if you find something you love to do and you enjoy doing it, you'll never work a day in your life. And I certainly felt that way. Every time I hopped in my truck to drive to Fox Studios here to shoot Race Hub, it never felt like work. It was always fun. It was always enjoyable, and I loved coming here and seeing all the smiling faces walking through the studio, and getting to work with people that now I consider friends. So yeah, it's been a great time for me, and such a learning curve, but also a really wonderful experience.
And you got a chance to go to Cuba, I heard, too, as well.
I did, yeah. That wasn't through the show, but I did that with NASCAR and with Fox, and we went to Cuba a few years ago and got to see my family, people that I'd never met. That were still down there, and a lot of Almirola is still down there in Cuba, and it was really neat to go and experience, where my grandparents came from, and just to see the roots of where the Almirola family came from, and to see that, just one generation later, after they decided to come to America, just like Daniel, right, to come to America and to be able to live what everybody calls the American dream. I drive a race car for a living and do TV, and it's amazing to think where your life will take you.
Yeah, we had a chance to air that on the Hub. It was great to see, and I know it was an awesome experience for you. And then Mikey, I mean, man, you probably have stories for days.
Just so much fun. When I come here, I know our job is to be informative, but I like to have a good time. And whether it's Caitlin hosting or hanging out with Larry McReynolds, laughing and enjoying moments on the set, and the people, everybody said it, but you just see folks that become your friends, and you're just so happy to see them when you get here to the studio. So had a lot of good laughs and a lot of good times.
I think one of the cooler things we do on this show is a lot of the times we get a chance to play games and put you guys toe-to-toe with each other. Yeah. I think of all the ones we've done in the past, what stands out to you with those?
Man, I mean, we did so many. I remember there was one time that we were with a few other drivers and we needed to guess, we needed to guess some things, and we had a board. And I figured out that if I was putting myself in an X position, I was able to see the answers of the host. So I got everything right. Yeah. And then I was like a champ. And after the show was over, it was with Adam. I said, Adam, I just wanted to let you know that I'm not that smart, but I'm clever. I was watching this, and he said, damn it. So I remember that. That was a couple years ago.
I think it's an interesting dynamic for you guys that either just hopped out of the car years ago to talk to and about these drivers and then go out and see them in the garage. Was that interesting for any of you guys?
I just loved it. It kept me connected. I retired from driving in 2017, I think, and this show made me feel like at times I was still a driver, because you guys would come in right off the track and we'd be here Monday and we'd talk about what happened, and I said, this is what I miss about being a racer, being out there with these guys. But this show and this community that we have at Fox Sports enabled me to continue that feeling, and I love that.
Yeah, talking about community, right? Like I heard Michael say that, and immediately that's exactly what I feel. I feel that community, and it really becomes like a family. It's one big family, and every family is dysfunctional, right? And so no doubt that we have a dysfunctional family in the NASCAR community, but it's still a family, and that's what you really think about when you're going to step away from the sport, is missing that family and the connection to the community of people.
Something that I wanted to touch very quick is that every time I was doing well on the racetrack on Sunday, and I was coming here on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, every single person here, camera people, production people, they were giving me a hug, like, man, great job. Yeah. Good job in the race. We saw that restart. We saw the pit stop. Like, that was amazing. That made me feel very, very good, very involved. And honestly, so many good friends and memories that were made here in the last few years.
And Bobby, I always love stumping you on those games because you'd give it a old college try and then you'd go kind of over, but not to rub it in.
J-Mo was always in my ear a lot of times, giving me a lot of the good answers. Or sometimes he wasn't. So I don't remember who.
Teamed up against Larry McReynolds, and that's a no-win situation.
That's not fair at all.
He has a stat book in his head.
I had J-Mo in my ear going, hey, don't forget, this is this. So you might have
The answers are now out.
That's right, yeah. We can talk about it now.
Well, love hearing all of those memories. Appreciate you guys being on the show. We're going to send it over to Caitlin, who's got a couple more special guests with her.
Thank you, Josh. Well, a full cast of characters for our special guests joining me now. Andy Petrie here, Todd Bodine, Trevor Bain, Drew Blickensurfer, and Chad Knaus with us now on the Victory Lap. Chad, you've been a part of Race Hub and this team for a long time. It seemed like you always had to come on when there was something controversial going on at Hendrick, and then you had to come on and talk about it, right?
I know, it never would go away either. Even if I came in on a Thursday, we're still talking about what happened the week before if there was something bad. But inevitably, you guys did always give us a lot of applause and a lot of grace, especially when I would come on every once in a while, and I would find my old friend, the Golden Horseshoe, would be around every once in a while, and I use this a lot throughout my crew chief career, I can tell you that. And I'm going to be taking this joker home with me, I'm going to tell you that right now. This one's going on my mantle.
Where did that come from?
Where'd it come from?
Yeah.
From Jeff Gordon. Well, Harvick. More importantly, I'm going to keep it on my mantle at home.
Andy was looking for one, by the way. He needs that.
But no, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great run. Really enjoyed everything I've been able to be a part of here with Fox and Race Hub, and it's been a lot of years we've been doing this stuff, right? We've all grown up a lot since this has happened and taken on different roles, and it's kind of sad that it's going out.
It is sad. I love that you brought the horseshoe back, though, for old time's sake. That was a funny moment that happened on the show when you took that out. It was kind of a running joke. You were always the one showing up to the show in style, I might add. This man came in on a helicopter for every show that we had here.
Well, not every show. Sometimes the weather won't permit it. But when it does, I do fly it in. It's been a blessing for me to be able to travel that way, and allows me to do two jobs. Chad, he lives close by. I work over at RCR, which is about an hour's drive. So it does make it work for me, but this has been an awesome experience. I've had 18 years in the NASCAR TV world, and 10 of them have been right here on the show. And I just have enjoyed working with every single one of you guys and all the hosts. Caitlin, you've been wonderful. This is one part of my week I'm going to really miss.
Yeah, Todd, you've been a part of our family too for a long time. Raceday, Race Hub, doing all the things with the Craftsman Truck Series. It's been awesome having you a part of it. I'm sure I know you've enjoyed it.
Yeah,
too.
Absolutely. 11 years. It seems like yesterday I just started with you guys. For all of us, I think it's kind of strange for me. Coming from racing, right? What we do in racing, the driver always gets the accolades. He's the end result of a lot of hard work behind him. And you know what? This is exactly what TV is. We stand up here and in front of these cameras, and we're the end result of what all these people back here do. Everybody in that control room, the people sitting out here in their cubicles putting together features and all the stuff that goes on. It's incredible to be a part of two teams in my life, be a part of a racing team and part of this Fox team.
Yeah, the production crew is top in the business, no doubt about it. Trevor, you've been with us for a couple of years, been a huge asset to our team. What have you loved about being a part of Race Hub?
Well, it's just a different dynamic of personalities, and you see a different side of people. So I hear everybody talk about relationships. When we're at the track, we're competitors, right? Like, I never walked up to Todd and got to know him on a personal level at the racetrack, or Chad or Drew or Andy. But here, we sit around after rehearsal and we spend an hour together, or we're getting ready for a show, and you hear stories and you see people's personalities away from what we knew each other as at the racetrack. And that to me has been special. I think about Todd, all of our Truck Race Day shows, or, getting to know Bobby Labonte, somebody that I got a picture with when I was 5 years old.
That's cool,
to know him well now and become friends. And that actually was more so here than at the racetrack ever was for me. And so I've enjoyed that a lot. And also, I'd been away for 3 years. I left NASCAR in 2018, and I was running a coffee shop. So for the fact that Fox let me come back after that, I don't know what they were thinking, but to be back around the sport was really special.
And you brought a lot of that coffee for us. Remember when you were here, which is good. We always need more energy working in television. And from another crew chief analyst who's been a part of our group for a long time, how's it been for you being a part of this show, Drew?
It's been pretty amazing. It's been an incredible 11 years. I remember about 11 years ago, Fox coming into the conference room at work and saying, hey, we would like crew chiefs to be on Race Hub, once a week, and would you like to do that? And I thought, man, I don't want to do that. I'm working, and so I'll try it out. So 11 years later, I fell in love with it, and I'm still doing it. But yeah, it's going to be deeply missed. It was a part of my week that, honestly, I get to get in front of a camera and just talk about what happened on Sunday. I lived it. I breathed it. I work it all week long. So it was super, super comfortable to do that and to be around people that made it very easy here at not only on set, but behind the scenes. When you get here, it's quickly, you go and put your suit on and get out here, and then they have everything prepped for you, and you get to talk about what you love to do. And that's something that, we were very lucky we got to do for a long time, and it's definitely going to be missed.
Yeah, we're very efficient here on Race Hub. Get you guys in, get you on the
That's
set.
right.
Is there any show that stands out to you, Chad? Because you did all kinds of different shows with us over the years.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we started in the early 2000s when, before it was Fox, was Speed, and it was NASCAR Performance. And we did so many different shows in so many different venues. Larry Mack and I, we had a car that was hanging from a forklift up in the air, and we were underneath this car, and it was insane. Andy, I think you may have been part of that at one time.
I don't remember that one.
You don't remember that one? Yeah, we probably shouldn't have survived it. But anyways, we've been a part of it, and I've been able to be a part of so many of these shows across the years, from Twin to NASCAR Performance to now Race Hub. It's going to be a sad day for sure.
Yeah, a show stand out to you, Andy?
Well, the one that just pops in my head is that Halloween show that we did and Adam I can't remember the character he was in. It was amazing. You didn't know that it wasn't the real wrestling. We were wrestling characters.
Yes, that's right.
And it was, oh my God, it was so
Macho
fun. And
Man.
Ricky Craven, there's a whole different person that came out in him in that costume. It was just ridiculous, and we had so much fun. That's just typical of the things that that we get to do here, and the people that we work with are so much fun. I mean, we work these high pressure jobs like you talk about, and we come in here and it's like a complete decompression. And we enjoy each other, and I always go home feeling better after I do this show.
Yeah, we put you in some costumes, I remember, for Throwback Weekend.
Yeah, our Raceday show, we always had great costumes. I think one of my favorites is when they shaved the goatee off, had that mustache look like Humphrey Bogart was, I think it was.
Oh, yeah,
that was one of my favorites.
He had eyebrows that day, too.
Yeah, they painted them on there.
No doubt. There's a lot of good memories to pick from. Thank you guys for being here and for all your contributions to the show over many years. And we still have more Race Hub Victory Lap coming your way. Here's some special guests who joined Race Hub as we do take that final lap.
Everyone is part of Fox that has had, everything to do with Race Hub, down to little details. I'm just very thankful for everyone's hard work and dedication to the show. I'm gonna miss it, but it's been a great run.
Some of my favorite Race Hub memories, besides the Jimmy Spencer crying towel, it's just all the people that were on there. There were so many breaking stories, so much great talent behind the camera. So it sucks to see it go after 15 years. I'm excited to see what the next progression of who's going to cover the sport. Hopefully they can do it as good as Race Hub did.
Hey, on behalf of Joe Gibbs Racing, we just want to thank Race Hub. I got to tell you, I thought that thing was really well done. It was the place that we all went to get all the knowledge about NASCAR for that week and those days. Thank you for doing that. And I want to tell you this, the person that made sure that I saw it was Pat, my wife. She taped that thing and we watched Race Hub every night. Thank you guys.
That is so awesome. Thank you so much, Coach. Take a look at this. I've got the champions here with me today. So we've got 12, 14, 18, and 22. We have another guy joining us right now. I can't name all the dates that we'd be here until next year. And of course, this is our last show. Of course, Jimmy Johnson. So Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick. Jimmy joining us right now. Jimmy, we're going to start with you because all week long we've been watching the promos for this Victory Lap show, and we have seen your white legs every single time. Do you remember doing that interview?
I do remember that. Yeah, I have two colors for my skin. It's either white or red, and you saw the white version.
Yeah, you thought you had a tan, but it didn't pick up on the cameras. Yeah. All right, you guys, I mean, listen, for the two of you, I've spent so many years having you guys come in, sometimes after major events have happened, particularly you, Joey, right? After Matt, after Kyle, and you were always such a champ, right?
I was thinking about some good moments too, but okay.
You came in and
just those ones.
You talked about them, among other things, obviously. I think you were part of Chubby Bunny. So were there, or you were there moments for you on the show that kind of stand out?
You know, I always had so much fun. It's such a great
setting to talk to the fans. And for us drivers, it was always great because you only see the driver when they get out of the car typically, and they're in the mode of racing. When you come here to the studio, you had a moment to like relax, joke around, be yourself, give the fans the opportunity to get to know who you are. We were just talking about I don't know if this is my favorite memory, but it's the most nervous I ever was here on Race Hub is when it was April Fool's Day and they were coming back from commercial and everybody left the studio. Everyone just left. And they're like, Joey, you're going to have to bring them back. And I'm like, huh? Like, I got to read the prompter? That's not my gig. That's not what I do. And so I had to bring it back from commercial, and I was reading Adam's lines. And I did a good enough job to not say, I'm Adam Alexander. So I at least changed that. But they were always good for jokes here, for sure.
Yeah, it was fun. Brad, and Brad was always here on a Tuesday because he loved Radioactive. But I'll tell you a secret about Brad. Every single time we would go to commercial break, is your phone there?
Yes, I got it right
He would be on his phone. We'd be like, Brad, we're coming back right now.
Oh, really? I got 3 seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But some of your moments.
Well, I've got a lot of great moments for Race Hub over the years. And, kind of like Joey, I always hoped I won the race the week before I'd be on Race Hub so you could see your own stuff. And I always hoped I didn't have a bad day before because I'd be here Tuesday and I'd get to relive it on Radioactive. But no, being on Race Hub and working with Fox has been a tremendous experience for me. And to see how the sport's covered and how professionally and well done it's been over the years here at Race Hub. It's been an honor to be a part of, and a lot of fun moments along the way from putting a pie in Jimmy Spencer's face.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun. If we could do that every time, I think I'd be back. But outside of that, being here and the not so fun days, the day after Steve Burns passed away, that was a really tough day. But there's all kinds of highs and lows, great memories. But at the end of the day, Race Hub has meant so much to this sport, to our industry, and we're thankful for everything it's done.
I know that I feel like all drivers have had issues with drivers, and I feel like this show has really brought a lot of guys together because, like you said, you'll have to be here after a good day, a bad day, conflict. And the two of you, your relationship in the booth a lot when you would do the Xfinity Series stuff, but tell me how that kind of bridged some of the relationships with some of the fiercest competitors out there.
Well, I think it's a lot like what Joey said earlier. It is a moment where you walk in the door and you're not walking out of your hauler. You're not at the racetrack. Yeah. You're out of this competitive mindset. And I tell fans this all the time as well. What you see at the racetrack is not the same guy that you're going to see when they walk in the studio here, because you're able to be relaxed. You don't have to think about how fast your car is going. You don't have to think about who you have a beef with. You come in here and it's like, okay, you get to be normal people. You get to have normal conversations. Yeah, we might have run into each other on the weekend, but usually by that time you've thought about it, understood it, and you've been able to overcome those types of situations. Yeah, Joey and I have had a few beefs through the year, but I would consider Joey one of my friends.
You guys
one
are
of my
great on TV together.
Good friends now that if he needs something, he's going to call me. I'm going to call him. And I really think that this whole drivers involved in everything that Fox has done in Race Hub, in the booth, and everything that we have been able to do has just made the sport better because you understand more about it. And from the driver's perspective, in the mid-2000s and early 2000s, you didn't care about it. You wanted to just get in the racetrack, get out, because it was hard to get in the racetrack. You had more appearances than you could do. And I think that Fox has taught us all the other side of the world and the other side of the broadcasting piece of the world that is so important to not only racing, but sports and people in general. And it's just it's a big business, and you need to understand how it all functions.
All right, let's go back to Jimmy, because I think one of my favorite moments from the show, Jimmy, was when you were here for Richard Petty's birthday. We celebrated his 80th birthday, and we had you in here as well as a lot of other people. Do you have any other moments, maybe besides that one, and obviously the legs that stand out to you?
Yeah, I think I showed up one time with a shaved head as well. I had a Memorial Day bet gone wrong with a youngster, with a young kid, Marcus Smith's nephew, actually, Wyatt Smith, who's not so young now, and he took a swipe at my head with a hair trimmer, and I came in with very short hair following that. So there have been many casual moments, and just as the others spoke, that's one thing that Fox has done such an amazing job with, and especially Race Hub. I think it's the closest the fans really get to who we really are away from the track, because our guard goes down and we're so relaxed coming inside to the studio there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you were talking about us playing an April Fool's Day joke on you, but you played a joke on Larry McReynolds once, didn't you? Did you give him a piece of concrete and you told him it was from...
Yes, we did do this. So we won at Watkins Glen. It's going to be a sore subject for Kevin because he ran out of gas in like the last corner. It's the only reason why I won the race. But it was the last race they had on that surface. They tore it up and repaved the track right afterwards. And there was a piece of asphalt outside of the studio here. And I brought it in. I said, Larry, I brought you this piece of asphalt. I think his first win came at Watkins Glen on like that asphalt, right? So
there it is.
He thought, he was so like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. He thought it was like such a sweet thing to do. And then I had to come clean. I felt so bad. I wanted it to go for years, but I felt so bad that I was like, man, he really thought this was special. And turns out it's just a parking lot.
Did you have to come clean before the end of the show?
I did, I think.
Oh my gosh.
I think I did. Man, it's so many years ago now, but I think I did.
I gave someone a fake lottery ticket one time, and then you see like them get excited, and then you realize you have to tell them
I really screwed up here.
This is not cool.
Got him.
I will tell you guys, every single one of you that have shown up here, you mentioned after the hard days, right? We'll give you guys so much credit because there'll be times where we'll be like, oh, but there's no way Kevin's coming this week, or there's no way. But Monday morning after a huge wreck or after a win or after a loss, you guys would be here to talk about the event. And there's no other show, no other sport that has the access that we did. And that is because of you guys showing up and being present. So yeah, absolutely. It's all for you. Jimmy, you're awesome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Great seeing everyone. And, it's sad to see this day come, but very proud to have been a part of the show for so many years, and look forward to seeing everybody soon.
All right, awesome. Okay, so we are going to wrap things up after the commercial break. You don't want to miss that because it's going to be everybody that's been part of the show will be here in one room. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be fun, and we're going to say goodbye. As we do go to break right now, here are some more moments from Race Hub over the last 15 years.
Here we go. Oh, wait. 1, 2.
I wanted you to see me when I came back to work. It's
Whoa,
been a
there's
long
Danielle.
time.
I'm going to throw the caution in the checker to think.
Oh, my God.
This was not a part of
Put it in
her.
your pocket. Riding a pony?
Whoever thought you were that agile? Wow.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our brand spanking new show, NASCAR Race Hub.
The crying towel, crying pie.
Estrada. What is that noise?
Richard, we're getting started over here. Should have bought a suntan before I came over.
First time in Race Hub history, 2 women are hosting the show.
Second place, girl.
There we go.
Chubby Bunny. Jeff's got a big mouth.
How many is that, 5?
I was side by side with him one time in Daytona, and that's because he was like this.
Welcome to our brand new home.
To be the man, you've got to beat the man.
Read it. Oh my gosh.
Woo! Sorry, I was like talking with my.
Yes. So I would say we're like a team that just won.
NASCAR Race Hub is live in Los Angeles.
Feels good. And watch out for the speed bumps. Clint! Where's Clint?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, wait. 1, 2, 3.
Gotta get some wins.
Don't let the pressure get to you, man.
Yeah,
this is why I'm the media.
Hey, let's put on our
big hats.
I'm taking mine home.
Here it goes, yeah.
I will promise no cartwheels, no push-ups tonight, Larry.
Thank you.
And let's get some final thoughts as we wrap up 15 years at NASCAR Race Hub. Jamie, we'll start with you.
Well, the 2 things I won't miss are push-ups and chanting Rudy. I just would dread it. I would dread it when William Byron would win a race. And rehearsals, yeah. I mean, look, for me, guys, I'm going to miss just the friendships. It's been so much fun over the course of being a part of Hub and Raceday. Just the relationships and the friendships we developed. It's been a lot of fun. Sad to see it go.
Yeah, I mean, the last 15, 16 plus years, I feel like I've spent as much time, maybe more time in this building with you guys than I have my own home, my own family. But I've always said, I don't look at a single person in this studio, in this building, in front of the camera or behind it, as coworkers. I look at them as family. I look at them as friends, and it's been an amazing ride. Now I have the job of explaining to my grandkids what Pop has been doing with some of those kids the last 16 years.
Well, you know, I think Larry Mack touched on it, family, and I'm the newest member of the team pretty much, and to be part of this and to be a part of this family has been really cool. I'm glad to be a small part of what is such a legendary show over the years.
I'm so proud of the storytelling we did on this show over many years of all the personalities in the garage, not just drivers and crew chiefs. We touched on everybody over the years. And I want to say thank you to our production team. They're the heart and soul of the sport. They're very talented people. They've done a phenomenal job behind the scenes.
Yeah, people always ask me what makes this show work. And I say, number one, it's our love of the sport. It's the fact that we really love NASCAR, and it's our love for each other. From hair and makeup to the people in the control room, to producers, to graphics, to camera operators. What you see on those clips is true love and true friendship. And we've been through so much together, 15 years, 7 years, however long we've been here. We really are care about each other and love each other.
Adam, are you going to thank hair and makeup?
I was going to thank makeup.
Just makeup?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we would be remiss, though, if we did not thank the 4 captains that has guided this ship, and that's Max Harnett, John Mars, Kelly Hamilton, and of course we're going to miss Greg Kakele in his format that says, I'm already heavy. And we've not even started the show.
And Lindy Mandia as well, who has led us through all of this and of course, helped put together this entire show for us to be able to say goodbye to it properly.
Nearly 40 people went through hair and makeup today. Let's bring them all out now and properly recognize those that have made NASCAR Race Hub such a hit.
It's so crazy
for the
to see
last
everybody
15
in
years.
One room, you know?
You know what I would say to everyone here is congratulations to all of us, because we truly have been a part of one of the greatest runs in sports television history. And we also have to say a special thanks to the fans. We salute you, and we thank you for making room for us in your schedule every night at 6 o'clock. As we go off the air tonight, we quote Steve Burns. Have an awesome night, everybody.
Welcome into NASCAR Race Hub Best of Radioactive Edition. I'm your host, Josh Sims, and you know, it's been an exciting start to the 2024 season, and over the next hour, we're gonna relive some of the best sights and sounds from the year, starting with the biggest race of the year, the Daytona 500.
We are 500 miles from history.
Got a copy. Got a copy.
The biggest stock car race in the world.
Yes, sir. Copy.
The Daytona 500.
For one driver, a very special place in NASCAR history.
All right, boys. Have a good day. Start this thing off right, nice and smooth all day. Got a great year ahead. Let's start off good. Let's do it, DH. Yes, sir. Good luck down there, guys. Good luck, Joey. Good luck, man. Got a great shot to win this thing. We got the best car. We got the best team. We know how to execute.
Drivers, start your engine!
Smell that? What's that? It's what the rock is cooking. Feel good about the car. Keep it one piece here around the end. Season starts right here. If we want to make it a great one, we got to start right now. 5 away. Ready? Ready. Green flag, green flag.
The Daytona 500 is underway.
2x2 all the way to the back, no third lane. Bounce isn't too bad, just a little bit on the free side here. Main car's good. Initial thoughts. All good.
These boys are going to have their hands full here in a few laps, and these things start slipping and sliding around, and tires wear out.
It's the 22, right foot down, or is he running partial throttle? Partial.
3 wide, about 7 or 8 rows back.
1, he's the third lane there. If you want the third lane with that groove, you see him coming here. 42 is going to jump up in front of him.
Oh, crash!
Wreck it. Got us, guys.
Harrison Burton, big damage on the 21 car.
And 5 cars are in it.
Got it. Kidding me. Unbelievable.
nothing we can do, but I'm sorry. You guys deserve a chance to win this thing.
I got a lot of here on the front stretch.
Pace car is in. We begin lap 12.
The 12 and 20 did not fit in that sequence, so they're really trying to save hard here.
We can't make it to the end of the stage, right?
Going to be close to being able to make it, especially with what you're saving right now.
Driving around here half throttle.
18 laps complete. Christopher Bell's Toyota side by side with Ryan Blaney's Ford for the lead.
Wake me up when it's about 5 to go. Now let's try to pick the pace up here. Everybody's saving so damn much, it might end up hurting us on the backside.
All right, Ryan, I think you probably need to open it up a little bit here. Guys behind us are probably saving enough to make it. Trying to go a little harder.
Now we have a race.
A lot of energy in the middle of the pack here right now.
The 3 guys who didn't pit, they're not going to make it to the end of the stage.
Not without help. Oh, here we go. They're going to pit.
30 seconds, fuel low. Gas only, gas only.
Fuel only, 4 seconds.
3, 2, 1.
Go, 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 go.
Track back, track back, track back. They're pulling away from me. They won't fan out, they're risking stage points.
Okay, they get no help from me then during the race.
Ryan Blaney pulled up to McDowell hoping to draft with him, but McDowell doesn't have speed.
I'm drunk, I can't even get fifth gear.
We'll try to diagnose then.
1 of the 24 in your mirror.
Chase Elliott
Coming to it here.
gets his second stage win
That's the stage.
in the Daytona 500.
Great job, great job, great job.
Green, stage 2. Huge run on the outside, 3 wide. We're going to the front and doing it in a hurry.
Gotta get down.
What do you think I'm trying to do?
I'll try to block a little bit if I can on the bottom.
Blaney to the bottom. He said he wasn't going to help his teammates. He didn't.
Hold the bottom, hold the bottom, hold the bottom. You're good.
Champion Ryan Blaney wins stage 2.
And we're racing again here at Daytona.
I need some help from the guys behind me. We don't go anywhere by not doing anything.
Just do what you've been doing all night.